Mike, I'm curious. We don't see a lot of Chicago here. They don't play a lot of national TV games. People aren't familiar with them. When you look at them, what do you see?
Well, I'm still crunching the video. My assistants have done extensive research. They're a very, very good attacking team, and they've been vulnerable defensively. Doesn't say that they don't have good defenders or they're not a good defending team, but their attacking, to me, outweighs their defensive as a team. They have players that could hurt you, and at home especially, I think they're playing well now, and they've had some very good results, some pretty tough losses, but they have talent around their team, and it's something that we started obviously preparing for today.
How did you use a little bit of bonus time in this 3-week break? I mean, obviously you had to do the coaching stuff and all that, but what else do you do with the downtime?
I stayed back for, I think, 2.5 days in New Jersey, and then that was it, come right back and get back to work. The coaching thing last week that I had to do, which is very, very beneficial. It was unfortunate, the timing. Perhaps in the future they're going to figure out a way, being that it's a U.S. soccer coaching course, and it's a U.S. Open Cup, maybe they could figure that out, but for the time being, I got away 12-hour days with the classes and with fellow coaches, and it was a great experience.
How do you encourage your players to take time off when you have this much time off? Are you giving them suggestions or anything?
Itineraries.
No.
Not itineraries, but just like...
Nope, here's a schedule, here's the days off, clear your mind, get your body right, get back on this date to get back at it.
And how do you find the balance during, a couple-week break between making sure the guys stay sharp and ready for league play, but also getting that little bit of a mental break, because this is a long season and there aren't many times when you actually can get away for a day or two?
Yeah, I rely on my sports science department. It's how much rest to have, how much to push them when they come back. I have no idea about that, so that's why you have to rely on the people who are experts in that, and that's when we sit down and we say we have this block of time off. What's the appropriate time to give them off to get refreshed, and then the appropriate time to bring them back into how hard to push them when they come back. So that's all on them.
And with this extra time, with the time in between New York Red Bulls to Chicago, you have some extra time, I would assume, to focus on yourselves and figure out what needs to get a little better, what you want to see from the guys, and then later on this week you start really focusing on Chicago. When looking at your group, what are some areas you really wanted to focus on during this 2-week break?
Our press. I think we've gotten so much better and done a better job at our movement to deny anything through, but we never really find ourselves in great opportunities to step up and then force a mistake or win a ball in a team's build-out. Like I said, we do well with denying a lot of the times, but it's a very much back and forth across the field that we're shifting. So that's what we're focusing on. And yes, we're focusing on Chicago, but I want to focus on us as well, just as much, if not more. We do a lot of research into the teams we play, and I'm starting to think that maybe we do a little too much on how they're going to play and what to expect from them and how we could adapt to them. We want to try to start making teams adapt to us as much as possible. So that's what we discussed during the break, and that's what we're starting this week on the road to Chicago.
I know the word inconsistent is thrown around a lot in sports, especially it seems to be just based on results. If you're not getting consistent results, you're an inconsistent team. But in terms of performance and your form, do you think you're maybe been a little bit more consistent on the field than the results would say, or do you think it's kind of your results have bared out kind of your consistency throughout the season?
Well, I mean, the only way I can answer that is you look at last year, and I'm pretty certain that we're one of the most consistent teams based off of where we were at this point last year as to where we are right now. So this is who we are. There's room, of course, to climb up a little bit. There's also the possibility of dropping a little bit, but we are exactly very close to where we were last year at this point in the season. And again, looking back on some of our losses, most of it is our doing. Not all of it. It's play special teams, make special plays, but a lot of it is our doing, and that's why we constantly going back to coaches and reviewing the tape and trying to put in training sessions that gear towards those maybe mistakes that we're making.
Is it discouraging or encouraging to be in the same spot you were at this time last year?
I don't know. The league is growing. The league is growing. Things are changing. We're like you guys know, and we've talked about, we're a very pipeline, bring up and develop type team. We'd sprinkle it in with some flair as much as we can. So in this day and age, I want to be a hell of a lot higher. I want to win every game. That's a question more for as the season goes on. I can't really put an answer to that right now. There's pros and cons on it, saying this versus saying that. But again, we're 2 years in a row now. We're basically on the same path.
When you see 4 guys getting called up to the U23s, they trained right here, but now they're back. Do you see differences in them, maybe more well-rounded because they're getting experience with other really talented guys in their age group? Or what are the things you notice when they come back?
It's not like they go there and they up their game. I'm assuming that they're playing as hard as they could here as well. So on the one solid day back we've had today, I see a very, very similar 4 players, which are guys that work hard, guys that want to improve, and guys that are looking to make a difference in the game. I'm sure mentally that it was great for them to get called in. I'm happy for them. That's why I chose to let them go instead of hold them for the Open Cup. It's a great experience for them, but at the end of the day, they're professionals, so it's not a situation that they're going there and they're putting more effort in there. All that stuff. This is who pays their bills, and this is the club they represent, so when they're here, they're working hard.
At the start of the season, we talked about the depth and how many position battles there were. You had a little break here, and guys got healthy, and you don't have international call-up, well, except with Jefferson, I guess. Have guys separated out in those battles? Do you pretty much know who you want? Are those battles ongoing in the lineups?
Ongoing. Yeah, they're ongoing because that's a testament to the guys who want to get into the lineup. They're working hard. They're forcing tough choices. Today when we did some 11v11, we had 3 separate scenarios of how we might play and approach this game. So, and that's not just to have 3 scenarios. It's because each one of those players, provides something different. So it's no one's separating, but that's not a bad thing because that means that they're all working hard.
These last 3 losses you guys have had, what have you seen from there that you can maybe figure out a way to just kind of get back into feeling good about the way you guys are playing? Obviously, there was a lot of stuff, travel and availability.
Yeah. Listen, in both games, we had clear game plans going into them, and it was mistakes out of those game plans that was our undoing. You look at Montreal, the goal right before halftime is basically a specific play that we worked on for the game leading up to that, allowing that center back to come with the ball and dropping into more of a shell to deny the passes that we knew they want to make. And that was, I think, first or second time that half that we had a player step out at the wrong time and they punished you. Against New York, the first half, of course, we knew New York was going to have a ton of the ball, and they're very good at home, very high pressing, but we did a very good job in our shape. In the second half, it kind of changed a little bit. And again, if you looked at the tape, we've talked about it. Point is that the game plans were working, and it's not because of the coaches, it's because of the players that were implementing it. And it's just these little mistakes, these little moments, mentality perhaps, or, stepping out when you shouldn't, that really was our undoing for the last 2 games. So obviously we're focusing on specific game plans like we always do and really trying to implement them.
For these next 17 games, quote unquote, second half of the season, are you still kind of figuring out things that you want to do, things you want to change, or is it just minor tweaks here and there until you get to wherever it is that you want to go as a team?
It's constant tweaks, for every team. It's constant tweaks. It's constant trying to improve certain situations while not forgetting about the things that you're doing well on. So for me, it's not so much as implementing new things. We have a way that we want to play, but, in certain areas we want to see it executed a bit better, and that's what training's for, is to keep pushing those situations.
Is there an aspect that jumps out to you the most in terms of what you just described?
A ton, but nothing I'm going to comment on here, but a ton. There's always something. There's always number of things, from the individual to the collective, and it's something that, again, we base a lot of our training sessions off of those scenarios.